Romeo Kokriatski. He is the editor of the New Voice of Ukraine. Romeo, great to have you here with us on TRT World. Let me begin by asking you, what are Ukrainians most concerned about if there is a leadership change in Washington? Are they bracing for the worst or hoping for more robust support?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, people are generally just kind of hoping things shake out all right. There's not much that Ukrainians can do to influence a U.S. election. As a result, everything's just tense and there's not really a clear release valve for kind of the stress that Ukrainians are living under right now.
Romeo, give us a bit of a sense of Zelensky's relationship with each of the candidates. We saw in Joel's piece just before we came to you the interaction between both of them. I'm just curious as to whether you think there's one candidate or another that Zelensky would be able to work with better.
Well, you have to remember that Zelensky's relationship with Trump isn't something that came up yesterday or during a campaign visit this year, but was really kickstarted when the Trump administration attempted to rope Ukraine into the false narrative of corruption involving U.S. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. And this really, as you can imagine, soured Zelensky's personal opinion of Trump. Now, diplomatically, we can see that he's doing all he can to maintain at least cordial relations with the Republican Party, with the Trump administration, the Trump campaign. It's not clear how successful he's going to be, given Trump's very obvious pro-Russian bias and his attempts to undermine Ukraine, his party's attempts to undermine Ukraine, especially in military aid. But he is doing the best he can with what he has. And again, there's not much Ukrainians can do to influence their election, so this particular event is completely out of our hands.
Okay, now let me ask you the million-dollar question. Which candidate, what's the sense in Ukraine about which candidate is better for Ukraine's potential NATO membership?
I mean, there is no real doubt in Ukrainians' minds that Kamala Harris' presidency would clearly be better in terms of maintaining at least short and medium-term support. A lot of people try to comfort themselves by saying, well, Trump is a wild card. He's known to kind of act off the cuff and not in line with anyone's projections. So they're hoping that if Trump wins, that remains the case and Trump kind of surprises us with how he will treat the conflict. Though, again, that's, in my estimation, mostly wistful thinking.
Romeo Kokriatski, thanks very much for joining us today here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.